Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Lyle, and it is Saturday, so I'm going to do my predictions for the upcoming week. And I'm only doing predictions for people with playoff berths on the line. Starting with the 1 o'clock games, we have the Bengals at the Steelers. Arguably a couple of the most desperate teams in the league. Now, however, the Bengals, I don't really consider them desperate at all because they have a chance with 2 weeks left in the season to potentially win the division. And honestly, though, if they don't make it through, no one's gonna be surprised. No one really thought they'd be in the playoffs this year, except maybe me. I predicted they would finish second in the division and get a playoff berth. And now they're going up against the Steelers team that is currently out of the playoffs and needs to win in order to try and guarantee some seeding. Because if they fall to 7-8 with 1 week left to go, you can pretty much they are guaranteed to be out of the playoffs. So they are desperate and hungry for a win. And however, the Bengals have just been really hot lately, and I see them beating the Steelers. I just do. And then we've got the Colts at the Chiefs. The Colts have yet to clinch a playoff berth, so they really can't afford to let up yet. And I think against the Chiefs, we can fully expect them to come out firing on all cylinders and pick up a win just to guarantee seeding. And then maybe next week you might see them let up a little bit, rest some players. But for this week, I'm definitely taking them to get a win, because they need it in order to guarantee that they're going to be in the playoffs. And then you've got the Saints at the Cowboys. And last week, honestly, I probably would have had the exact opposite pick from what I'm doing right now, because the Saints are long shots to get in the playoffs. Technically, there is a possibility, but so much has to go right for them and wrong for everyone else. Meanwhile, the Cowboys completely control the outcome of their season. All they had to do is win, and they had the division title. And after watching them last week, I have trouble choosing against them. The Saints' offense will put up points, but they will also turn the ball over. And I think the Saints' defense will allow more points than what the offense matches. And they're not going to create as many turnovers as the offense gives away. So I'm picking Dallas to win this one. And then we've got the Redskins at the Eagles. LeSean McCoy expected to make his return this week. The Redskins defense could have some trouble with the backfield tandem of McCoy and Brown. I mean, that could be potentially deadly. However, and RG3, I don't know. They're saying he will play, then they're saying he won't. And either way, though, the Redskins control their season, and once again, all they have to do is win. And so, against the Eagles, who have been hapless all year, I have to pick the Skins. And then we've got the Rams at the Bucks. The Bucks have kept losing and now find themselves out of the playoffs, while the Rams still have an outside shot of sneaking in if they win out. I don't think they're getting into the playoffs, but I do see them winning this game. And then we've got the Vikings at the Texans. Their win last week clinches the division for the Texans, but they are still fighting for a first-round bye. Meanwhile, the Vikings have just fought their way into a wild card spot with their win last week. Adrian Peterson is chasing history and hopes to get a little closer while facing off against what was once the strongest defense in the league, but has fallen off in the recent weeks. I like the Vikings to come with some hunger and really take it to the Texans. However, I just feel so much more comfortable picking the Texans to win. They've both got good defenses, and they both got a very strong running game that they can rely on, but the Texans have a much better QB who is throwing to much better receivers. So I have to pick them playing at home. And then on the 4 o'clock slate, we've got the Bears at the Cardinals. The Bears are fighting for their playoff lives right now. Look, they've been on a losing streak. Now they now found themselves outside looking in. Luckily for them, they have a very easy matchup against the Cardinals. They should come away with the win, be able to keep their hopes alive. You've also got the Giants at the Ravens. Giants possibly one of the most desperate teams in the league, because for the Giants as well, for the Steelers and the Giants, both of them, their playoffs start right now. Because if they don't win right now, there's really no chance for them to get into the playoffs at all. The Giants have to win both games and hope that either the Redskins or Cowboys loses today and then wins next week in order for them to get into the playoffs. So for them, it's playoff time right now. And I expect the Giants to come out and play like it is playoffs time. I mean, both of these teams had horrible games last week, but the Ravens are guaranteed a playoff spot. They have already clinched the playoff berth. Even if they lose these next two games, they're still in the playoffs. They'll be dropped down to a wild card, but they're still in the playoffs. And currently leading the division. However, the Giants, they lost last week, and now their whole season is on the line. For them, this is the playoffs. And I fully expect them to come out playing like it is the playoffs. And we've all seen how much better the Giants get when it is playoff time. Eli Manning is going to step up. He's going to be finding Cruz and Nix, and I expect them to dominate, because their season could end with a loss tonight. So yeah, I fully expect the Giants to come out swinging like everything's on the line. And then Sunday night, we have a tilt between two division rivals, the 49ers at the Seahawks. The 49ers have clinched the playoff berth, but a win this week would clinch the division. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are at the top of the wildcard chase, looking to clinch a playoff berth. They looked great the last couple of weeks, but that was against very weak teams. And I think the 49ers will be more than enough of a challenge. And if Kaepernick and this defense continue playing like they did last week, then they should have no problem getting a win here. It's hard to go up against the Seahawks because they are undefeated at home, but their defense is kind of hurting right now. And I think the 49ers, if they continue rolling on all cylinders like they did last week, they should have no issues coming away with a victory here. So those are my predictions this week. Tomorrow is Sunday, but I'm not doing fantasy football anymore. Instead, I'm going to tell you the schedule that I have coming up. So look forward to that. And until then, I hope you have a happy Saturday. I am your host, Nathan Lau. This has been The Fan Perspective. Good luck to you.